Hello everybody, this is Zerda with Zerda MTG, and it's time for some more historic gameplay, and it looks like we have the perfect keeper to show off what we're trying to do. If we're on the play is the only way this hand would be any better, but hey. Oh, and it looks like it'll even be against one of the tougher matchups, which is green decks. They just tend to have, a bit of ramp in them. Play a few more lands. Oh, elves. Never mind, this should be one of our better matchups. Try not to trash talk and get absolutely owned by them, but hey. This should show you why I think this deck has a place in the meta. Alright, so here it looks like we're going to have to use our sweeper, because if we don't use it here, they have a chance of putting out enough lords to make it so that our sweeper doesn't do anything. So I'm sad we only get a 2-for-1, but consider it as a double land destruction spell against elves when they have an Archdruid out. Ooh, Imperious, perfect. Card is pretty good. Here I'm going to take a slight tempo lead, I think. No. I feel here just ramping into Ugin is the thing to do. And against elves, when we already have an Ugin in our hand, we're just going to go ahead and get the Blast Zone as a preventative measure, not the Cascading Cataracts. Although, I am also tempted to get a Memorial to War for after we land the Ugin. Yeah, I think that's going to be our best bet, actually. Is grab Memorial to War for post-Ugin. Ooh, Mobilized District. A land will actually be able to blow up with our Goblin Rune Blaster if we draw it. Alright. Of course, we're not going to just let the Mobilized District live in the off chance we draw the Rune Blaster. We don't want to downtick our Ugin only to have it attacked by the district. Let's see. Yeah, post Ugin, all we're going to want to do is blow up lands. Ugin will take care of the rest. No attacks, keep back the Golos as a defensive measure. Our biggest worry here is that they might Collected Company. Oh, no, looks like we're just absolutely golden here. Drop the Ugin, and I wouldn't be surprised to get a concession here. No? Alright, they're gonna make us play it out in all this gory fashion. Exile all of their creatures. Hit them for 3. Next turn, Rebel Reading, play Memorial. And then we have Land Destruction for the last 3 of their... because after we blow up 1, we'll have Land Destruction for the last 3. So we just kind of have this on lock. No, that gets taken too, opponent. We'll go ahead and uptick on the clan color. Ugin can be defended by a combination of himself and the Golos. Himself via just incredible uptick power. And the Golos by, the Golos. No attacks. Not a bad card. We will 100% Ugin it. blow up another land. And this is where our opponent realizes that we are going to deny them of absolutely all resources and not let them build into a collected company at the end of one of our turns, where they can hopefully kill the Ugin or something. It was definitely right of them to concede there. They technically had outs before, but as soon as I made it clear I wasn't going to give them any openings, a concession is about all they could realistically do. Otherwise, the game was kind of a waste of their time there. Alright, and in for game 2. No companion doesn't tell us too much since the nerf. I do like keeping most hands with a ramp spell and a either wrath or land destruction spell. I'm upset when it's not a land destruction spell, but I'm just going to keep this one and say it's part of the cost we pay for playing this deck. Alright. We do play a considerable number, and I guess technically Golos is one of them, but not quite in the way that I intend it to be. There we go. And this does tell them a little bit about what we're playing, but at the same time we can't just hide that information forever. Alright, so if this Rune Blaster resolves, it's about to be taken. There's no way our opponent lets them take them off blue. Against these decks, once they start missing land drops, the land destruction becomes really good against them, because they're not built to cast spells that are less than what they're ramping into. Alright, so next turn, tough breaks, opponent. Drop the Golos. Won't be surprised if this gets Mystical Disputed or censored. I'd kind of assumed if they had a censor they'd have cycled it, but I was wrong there. Growth Spiral is fine. Dang, another blue source. Not what I wanted to see. It's kind of an odd game with nothing really happening. I'm going to go with the land destruction spell that lets me scry. And go to blow up the land that lets their check lands come in untapped. Let's see. Golos is land number 8. I guess maybe I should have kept it there just in case they counter the Golos. But I'm thinking if I don't land the Golos, I want to draw something better anyway. Here I could blow up their land first, but I want to try and hit the Ugin if I can. And here I will be getting the Cascading Cataracts, because this feels like it's going to be a grindy matchup. Though I do imagine the Golos is getting destroyed, so maybe that's another reason to grab the Memorial. No? Alright. Opponent is looking for a thing to do, and for lands with which to do them. There's Triumph. If my opponent taps out, I'll just drop the Ugin. If they do anything else, I'm just going to activate the Golos. I'd rather get my Golos value while I still can, than risk the resources I already have access to. Also, good to activate your Golos before playing your lands. I've seen people do it the other way, and that just means you lose out on free land value. See, I would have lost a land destruction spell there, and only gotten one card drawn off of my Golos. Huh. I can't believe they held on to the Heartless Act and let me use it. Or let me use Golos. I guess they know of the Ugin, which means they were holding up mana to potentially counter something, which in my mind means it is the perfect opportunity to take them off of blue mana before deploying my key spell. Cycling Sensor is fine. Drop another Memorial and pass. Another blue source is not what I wanted to see. So here, let's see. I don't believe they have access to any single blue counter, and them continuing to hit land drops is making me nervous. I don't want to expose this here, but I do think my chances are getting slimmer when they're making land drops. Alright, they cycled it. That's good news. It's also a good chance I shouldn't have done this for another reason I hadn't been, but I hadn't vocalized and thus forgot it. So that should have been untapped. Don't let auto tapper do this to you. Which is, I should have taken them off of double black, so they can't Murderous Rider my Ugin. Which is now something I, well, was going to say I fell right into, but it looks like I'm fine on that front. Oh, that is rough. The whiff on Nahiri. Alright, and we will go ahead and destroy another blue source. Don't believe we have the mana to do both. Oh, but they've conceded anyway in the face of an alting Ugin on the following turn. And not enough mana to play their spells. So yeah, that was a misplay, but I think it ended up playing out. That doesn't mean it was the correct play, though. They wouldn't have even been able to drop that Narset. I'd have been able to blow up one more blue land, and everything would be fine. And I'll be playing one more game for your viewing pleasure before I've decided that that is enough for today, and we'll be done with this video. Alright, so on the play, ramp spell into do nothing for this long is very nerve-wracking. We do, however, have an incredibly high density of spells, and on the play I'm more likely to keep something like this. The only real reason I'm considering it this long is the Blast Zone, but if I do have to use it, I think this is something... I'm gonna keep this. We have time, we have an extra draw. If this was a Mind Stone or a Wolf Hollow, I wouldn't keep it. But I think getting that extra draw step puts us at just likely enough to hit one of the 4 drops we want to hit in time. Alright, Forest Explore. And Memorial to War number 2, since it'll always be tapped and not give us the option otherwise. We only ever need 1 green anyway, so we're not exactly losing out on that. Oh, Kiln Fiend. Oh, this is much worse than I thought. This is just the... Ooh, okay. Well, this is a blocker now. Actually, should I play the Blast Zone instead? So if I play the Blast Zone, get to hold it up, but that Kiln Fiend, I'm going to bet that they don't have the trample this turn, which is a bad bet if I lose it. But I'm going to have to play a little bit aggressively here. Or I should say defensively. Oh, and they have the trample. Of course, if they had removal, it was just as bad for me, but hey, thus is life. And this is why you shouldn't keep ramp into nothing hands. Got a little bit tempted because of the numbers, but and a maximize. Pretty sure this is well, it's not quite lethal, but it's getting really close. And this deck is sweet. Wish I'd played that last turn though, so I could have prevented this exact scenario from happening, which is them having the 1 extra mana they need to end me. Doesn't much matter what I block, I only stop 1 damage anyway. Oh, and now I do believe that is lethal. No? Huh. Well, regardless, I am very much dead. So, let's go ahead and blow up their 1-drop just to feel better about ourselves. And there you have it. That's all we have time for today. Thank you for watching. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe. It really helps the channel grow. And I'll see you all in the next video. Until then, please remember, don't keep a hand like that if you're trying out this deck.